back to the channel, everyone, and I hope your week is going well. And as you can tell by the footage, I went to the beach the other day with my family to just get away for a little holiday, governor. That's how you say it. No? Now, something did occur to me while I was at the beach, and that thing was that I didn't really know how much I would appreciate beach shots in comparison to some of the architecture and street photography that I've been getting as of lately. And with the openness of the beach, I just realized is that there is a particular type of style that I've been favoring a lot lately that I wanted to take advantage of. And that type of like photography, videography, revolves around minimalism. Now, this type of style is nothing new. It's been around since the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, I draw my inspiration from movies that, introduce scale and have those minimalistic shots, littered within them. One movie that I can think of off the top of my head right now is Arrival. And the reason why that movie was amazing because it presented so many visual aspects of scale, but with a central focus on minimal character layering in the central shots.
There's a little tent over there, a couple ladies wearing ugly shirts like me. They're gonna take care.
Thank you.
Now, before I delve more into my experience at the beach, I do want to introduce the gear that I use today. I use the DJI Osmo Action 4 along with the FujiFilm XH2s. Now, speaking of the FujiFilm XH2s, I recently did the firmware update for this camera, and essentially I've been hearing a lot of chatter in regards to the autofocus and how the autofocus in the last firmware update wasn't as spot on with this autofocus. And for me, I just wanted to test it out to see if there was anything that I saw from the firmware update with the autofocus that would cause any question as far as like, hey, what's going on here? What are we doing? Now, if the autofocus, didn't work for whatever reason or had some bugs to it, I was just going to switch to manual focus at that point in time, which is not ideal whenever you're trying to shoot action shots, but I definitely would have endured through the pain if I had to go through that particular process.
Will I get over it? No.
With experience that I've gained over the past year with the Fujifilm XH2s, this will probably be the second time me taking to the beach. The first time I was like, really iffy, was trying to feel it out some more. But the second time us going to the beach, it's just like, all right, I need to have a plan. I need to have something to where I can really just hone in and focus on. How do I frame this shot? How do I frame that shot? Because there's such an open space there. And I figured that I would just wing it until my photography eye warmed up to see what type of perspective was working in that particular moment. When we got out, we parked and everything, started walking around. One of the things that did catch my eye was the surfers. And the reason why the surfers, caught my attention was due to them and their interaction with the waves and the water. And I was just like, wait a minute, I think I have something here. So what I wanted to focus in on after I caught a couple of shots was the foreground, the wave action being the foreground, the midground being the surfer, and the background just being the scale of ocean behind them. And I think that's where I began to kind of see is like, okay, I think I have something here. I think that the composition really began to unfold for me, meaning that I was able to focus on the action, which was in the foreground, and the subjects within the midground, and kind of play with that layering and see what I can come up with. Now, I wanted to get closer to get some more, action shots, but the waves are just coming in way too high. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to chance it. I don't have the Fujifilm in any type of protective waterproof case. So if one of those waves like knocks me over, yeah, that's bye-bye Fuji, and that's going to suck. Another thing that I wanted to test out on the Fujifilm with the autofocus was the seagulls and pelicans. And it appeared to do a great job of just, tracking those particular subjects with the range that I was able to get with. Again, I was using the 75mm and I only had that lens out there, so definitely was limited as far as my focal length. But for the most part though, I think that I was able to capture some really decent shots. Getting the sailboats was like the creme de la creme. Like there was it was just beautiful to be able to capture those shots. And again, taking the same, format application that I did with the surfers and with the birds, is that having that wave action in the foreground and your subject being in the midground and the background just being this vast space, I thought that was pretty dope to be able to capture those shots and really just emphasize on the minimalistic style that I was aiming for while I was out there. I think that a takeaway that I learned from this particular trip is that continually seeking out these opportunities to be able to expose your photography eye, because in this particular situation, I was put in a place to where there was a lot of space and I really didn't know how I wanted to compose my shots. And I think from what I learned from the situation is that just take one layer at a time and kind of build your composition based upon what your eye is seeing in that particular moment. Well, that's it for today's video. As always, continually appreciate the process. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces. And another one, son. Yes, sir.